Hey guys, Scripture here with another video, and it begins, folks. Talent agents circle AI actress Tilly Norwood as studios quietly embrace AI technology. Actor, comedian, technologist Eline van der Velden has revealed that her recently launched AI talent studio, Zycoia, is in talks with a number of talent agents interested in signing its first creation, AI actress Tilly Norwood. Van der Velden talked about the development on a panel at the Zurich Summit on Saturday, where she gave a presentation on her AI production studio, Particle 6, and then joined a discussion on AI developments in the entertainment industry alongside Verena Poom, head of Luma AI's new studio, Dream Lab LA. Both Van der Velden and Poom suggested that studios and other media and entertainment companies were quietly embracing AI under the radar and to expect public announcements about high-profile projects using the technology in coming months. This is extremely interesting in so many ways. First of all, for the layman like me, the regular Joe Blow who just watches stuff, we all saw this coming, right? Like, we all kind of assumed this was eventually where it was going to go. It's funny because they've had all these negotiations and the strikes and all these things in Hollywood, but ultimately it's gonna happen. It's like so many other industries, and yeah, I get it. I get why people are fighting it. I get why the unions are fighting it, of course. But eventually, the cost of telling the unions to go away or telling them there's going to be major changes, and the cost to that doesn't matter anymore because the AI is cheap enough. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what's replacing it is cheap enough that you can deal with payouts and dealing with unions and whatever you have to do. And that's where it's going. But there's more to this, and I want to read a little bit more of this article and get into that. We were in a lot of boardrooms around February time, and everyone was like, no, this is nothing. It's not going to happen. Then by May, people were like, we need to do something with you guys. When we first launched Tilly, people were like, what's this? And now we're going to be announcing which agency is going to be representing her. Representing her. Like, what is this? In the next few months, said Van der Velden. So basically, like, we're going to have fake people that were created by companies represented by agencies? This is just... Dude, what do you guys think, man? Let me know in the comments section. Like, this is crazy. As much as it was inevitable, it's crazy. But there's another crazy thing to talk about. Just a sec here. The revelation of a possible agent signing for Tilly Norwood comes just days after Van der Velden officially announced the creation of Particle 6 offshoot Zycoia, I think. An AI talent studio designed to create, manage, and monetize a new generation of hyper-real digital stars. If the talent agency signing comes to pass, Norwood will be one of the first AI-generated actresses to get representation with a talent agency traditionally working for real-life stars. Former AI artist Poom, whose appointment as head of... whatever, it doesn't matter. I remember having meetings with the studios as an AI artist before joining Luma, some said. Oh, no, we're not using AI. I knew some were lying and they were already secretly working on some stuff, but some were not open to it at all. Then definitely this year, kind of like March, April, people called me and wanted to talk to me. So the studios were presenting themselves as they weren't going to do this. And I've said this to friends of mine that are in certain industries and different things. It's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. They were discussing me being a liaison between directors and AI artists. At that time, I was traveling around a lot and educating about workflows and pipelines and how it can be integrated. And then all of a sudden, that was becoming very interesting to them. It was a different language to them. And they were like, we really have to get people from the outside that have worked in the AI industry. Historically, the studios have been very slow to adapt, at least publicly. They need that influx of new creatives and new creative technologists to come in and actually show them how it's done. You can assume that a lot of them are already working on it. Guys, of course they were. Of course they will. Okay, so this is where it comes down to. Of course they were. And this is what's crazy to me. So you had all these people, all these actors and all these people, especially these actors. And I don't need to necessarily go into names. We all know. But what these actors have been doing lately and putting their noses into things they don't need to put their noses into, right? Creating controversies in the public space and in the political space and all these things that they didn't need to do. And doing it a lot of times in a certain direction, but seeing that direction and how it impacts the public and how it impacts the bottom line and the money and everything else, you guys were shooting yourselves in the foot. You were shooting yourselves in the foot. It's you guys don't care about minorities, or you don't care about this, or if you don't agree with us, you're a Nazi, or you're this or you're that, and all of these accusations that they were throwing out, whether or not you agree with them or not. I'm not here to. This isn't a political discussion. But the bottom line is, if you were an employer and you have somebody that keeps their mouth shut and does their job and does a good job and creates income for you and raises the value of your company, that's good. If you have somebody over here who's constantly tweeting stupid stuff and ticking people off, even if it's half the people love it and half the people don't, still half the people don't. Half the people don't. So you're making people angry, knowing EI, employment insurance, AI is coming, and you're making a certain percentage, a large percentage of the public upset by your comments. And as you guys know on this channel, I've said for years, shut up, just entertain. Don't get involved. It's stupid. And so these people that can't keep their mouths shut and can't stay off social media and despite the enormous amount of attention they get anyway because they're in movies, have to get more and more and more, and it's never enough. More! That's why they're going. That's not why they're going this direction, but it's part of the reason, because some of that stuff has cost them money. And so they're going to go this direction and see how it goes, see how the public reacts. And there are people in the public sphere that are going to say, you know what? I'm happy it's AI, because these people have been attacking me and my beliefs for so long that, you know what? Screw them. I don't care if they don't have a job, and I don't care if they don't act anymore. I would prefer this AI, so I don't have to listen to them spout off about their stupid opinions instead of just entertaining me. That's where we're at. That to me gave them the excuse. That facilitated them going this direction in a speediest and quick way. Because let's face it, this stuff just started in the last 3-4 years. And yes, of course, the technology's reached a point where they can do this, but you're not helping your cause by getting involved in this stuff that has nothing to do with your entertaining. Like that girl that played, what's her name, from Harry Potter now is trying to pull back and trying to get in J.K. Rowling's good books now, and all these people, because you made your social media about your cause instead of about your work, right? And you're already a celebrity. You should have just made it about your work. Promote your movie with it. Promote your this with it. Keep your opinions with your friends. Nobody cares. So again, I'm not saying that this wasn't going to happen eventually anyway, but when you've got actors spouting off, being a nuisance to a large percentage of the population, ticking them off, making companies lose money, they're going to rush into this. And of course they're doing it behind the scenes. They're not telling you to your face. And that's what's so great about this article is this is the first real kind of in your face, yeah, this is happening. And I know nothing about this, they call her a she, this Norwood, or no, who is this? Tilly Norwood, this fake person. But the reality of it is, a lot of people, like I said earlier, are going to be happy to just have somebody portraying a character without having all the baggage that comes with this person being on social media and doing interviews and being an idiot the studios are looking at this going, this is great. We don't have to deal with any of this baggage, and we don't have to deal with actors fighting on sets. Like we just had that thing happen in the Doomsday set, and arguments, and you hear about actors complaining about other actors, and some people that are acting are real a-holes to deal with. Now they don't have to deal with that. They don't have to deal with substance abuse with their talent. They don't have to deal with anything, family issues, whatever it is. Not to say the family issues is their fault, but I'm just saying they don't have to deal with any of this stuff. They don't have to deal with bad press. They just don't have to deal with it. Why would you deal with it if you don't have to deal with it? And again, I think it really, I do feel bad for those people that are just trying to act and are normal human beings, and they just want to do their thing, and they don't want to cause waves. I feel really bad for those people. But those people can look directly at their fellow actors that can't keep their mouths shut and won't be quiet and keep ostracizing a huge percent of the population. They should look to them and say, what were you doing? You know, we knew this was going to happen, but all you guys are doing is making this happen quicker. And I think what you're going to see, I'll just finish with this. I think what you're going to see is in terms of film, you're going to see a slow removal of real actors, and you're going to see a replacement with AI. And so real acting is going to move back to stage. It's going to become more authentic. And I also think this will facilitate a process of those people keeping their mouths shut. Because it's going to become the market for actors is going to shrink dramatically. It's going to go right to live shows. You're going to have to know what you're doing live. You're going to have one take. You're not going to have 50 takes. You're not going to be able to yell and scream at people because somebody's cell phone went off. You're not going to be able to be fighting in front of everybody. You're going to have to act. So it's actually kind of going to go back to the old times, right? Old Roman amphitheaters and all that stuff. That's where acting is going to go, and there's going to be fewer jobs, and so people are going to take a lot less risks in terms of what they espouse publicly, because there's just not going to be a market for them to be spouting off, which I think is good for everybody. Again, I feel bad for a lot of people, but this is where it was always going to go. Incredible. Not necessarily in a good way, but incredible. We're in a new era, folks. This is crazy. And I actually have talked about this before, that this was an eventuality. I think we all knew that. We're not, I'm not some genius, but this is where it was going to go. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. It always helps the channel. Feel free to check anything else on my channel. Have yourselves a really good day.